The massive starship UES Defiance drifted through the silent darkness of space, its sleek metallic hull reflecting distant starlight. Captain Hyun Park stood on the bridge, her eyes fixed on the holographic display that showed the vast emptiness around them. This was not just another routine exploration mission. This was humanity's first deliberate approach into the heart of alien-controlled space. Lieutenant J. Kim monitored the advanced sensor systems, his fingers dancing across multiple holographic interfaces. The ship's quantum drive hummed with a quiet intensity that suggested immense power barely contained. Every system was calibrated to perfection, every sensor tuned to detect the slightest change in their surrounding environment. Approaching Zorn. Territorial markers, Jay reported, his voice steady and professional. No excitement, no fear, just pure focus. The Zorn had ruled this sector of the galaxy for centuries. Their massive fleet and complex network of space stations had kept other civilizations in check. They believed themselves untouchable, masters of interstellar politics and military strategy. But today, everything would change. The UES Defiance was unlike any vessel the galaxy had ever seen. Its design incorporated technologies that seemed almost magical: quantum entanglement communication systems, adaptive energy shields that could reshape themselves faster than any weapon could penetrate, and propulsion mechanisms that could traverse vast distances in moments. Captain Park knew their mission was delicate. This was not about war, but about sending a message. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and they would be noticed. Sensor arrays began picking up the first signs of alien detection. Distant communication bursts, rapid and chaotic, indicated that the Zorn were becoming aware of the human vessel's presence. Their initial scans would reveal something unprecedented, a ship that didn't match any known technological profile. Jay's console lit up with incoming data streams. "Multiple alien sensor networks are tracking our approach," he said. His tone remained neutral. "They're attempting to categorize our vessel." The bridge crew remained calm. Each member had been chosen not just for their technical skills, but for their psychological resilience. They understood they were making history with every passing moment. The ship's exterior was a marvel of engineering. Smooth lines that seemed to absorb and redirect energy, hull sections that could reconfigure themselves millisecond by millisecond. It wasn't just a weapon of war. It was a statement of technological superiority. As they moved deeper into Zorn-controlled space, the alien monitoring systems became more frantic. Small reconnaissance drones began appearing at the edge of their sensor range. Each one was carefully tracked but not engaged. The humans wanted to observe, not provoke. "Incoming drone pattern," Jay announced. "They're attempting a standard threat assessment formation." Captain Park nodded. She knew exactly what was happening. The Zorn were trying to understand this unknown vessel, categorize its capabilities, determine whether it represented a threat. The bridge was a picture of controlled calm. No raised voices, no panic, just professional efficiency. Each crew member understood their role in this delicate dance of first contact and technological demonstration. Quantum communication systems began receiving fragmented alien transmissions, confused messages, emergency protocols, high-priority communication channels lighting up across entire star systems. The humans were causing widespread panic simply by existing in this space. Outside the ship's massive viewports, distant star systems glimmered. Each one represented potential for exploration, for understanding, for humanity's future. This mission was more than a military exercise. It was a statement about human potential. Lieutenant Jay continued monitoring the sensors, his hands moving with practiced precision. Every small movement, every data point was being carefully recorded. This would become a historical document, a testament to humanity's first major interstellar encounter. Captain Park allowed herself a small, knowing smile. They had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same. The UES Defiance continued its steady trajectory, a silent messenger of humanity's technological might, moving through alien-controlled space with calm, calculated precision. The Zorn communication network erupted into chaos the moment the human vessel entered their monitored space. Thousands of communication relays buzzed with urgent messages, their quantum transmission network struggling to process the unprecedented arrival. In the central command hub of the Zorn hegemony, massive holographic displays flickered with data about the unknown ship. Senior Admiral Quan studied the incoming reports, his three-fingered hands clenched tightly behind his back. Nothing in their centuries of galactic exploration had prepared them for this moment. Unidentified vessel detected. A junior communication officer reported, his voice trembling. Technological signatures are impossible. The initial scans defied everything the Zorn understood about spaceship design. The human vessel showed energy readings that shouldn't exist, quantum signatures that seemed to bend the very laws of physics they had studied for generations. Its hull configuration suggested capabilities far beyond anything in their current technological understanding. Across multiple star systems, emergency protocols activated. Military commanders scrambled their best reconnaissance squadrons. Small, agile scout ships began preparing for an initial approach, each hoping to gather critical information about the mysterious intruder. Lieutenant Sung Min from the UES Defiance monitored their communication channels. He watched with professional detachment as alien communication networks became increasingly frantic. Each transmission revealed more about the Zorn's internal panic than any actual threat assessment. The first wave of reconnaissance drones approached the human vessel. They moved in a complex formation designed to test defensive capabilities and gather maximum information. But these drones represented technology that was now obsolete against the human ship's advanced systems. Point defense systems on the UES Defiance barely registered the drone approach. With casual precision, energy, fields subtly redirected the incoming scouts, neutralizing their potential threat without destroying them. It was a demonstration of technological superiority that spoke louder than any weapon could. In the Zorn Central Command, holographic displays showed the drone formations being effortlessly managed. Senior Admiral Quan watched in growing disbelief. These humans had entered their most secure space corridor and were treating their most advanced reconnaissance technology like children's toys. Communication attempts? He demanded from his communication team. Minimal response, came the quick reply. The vessel acknowledges our presence but shows no aggressive intent. It's waiting. The psychological impact was immediate. Entire star systems began receiving fragmented reports about the unknown vessel. Trade routes became disrupted. Military units went into high alert. The mere presence of this single ship was causing more disruption than any actual conflict. Captain Hyun Park understood this perfectly. Every movement, every moment of silence was a calculated message. They weren't here to fight. They were here to demonstrate humanity's technological leap. Zorn diplomatic channels began emergency consultations. Representatives from different star systems connected through quantum communication networks, their discussions becoming increasingly heated. Some advocated immediate defensive measures. Others suggested caution and diplomatic approach. The UES Defiance continued its steady trajectory, moving with an almost casual grace through space that had been exclusively controlled by the Zorn for centuries. Its very existence was a challenge to established galactic power structures. Lieutenant J. Kim monitored the external sensors, recording every minute detail of the alien response. Each communication burst, each subtle change in drone formation, each emergency transmission. Everything was being carefully documented. They're trying to understand us, Jay reported to Captain Park, a hint of amusement in his professional tone. The captain nodded. Understanding was the first step towards communication, and humanity was very good at making others understand their capabilities. As hours passed, the initial panic began transforming into a more calculated response. The Zorn were regrouping, analyzing, preparing, but the message was clear. The galaxy had just witnessed something fundamentally different. The UES Defiance continued its journey, a silent testament to human technological achievement, causing more disruption through its mere existence than any weapon ever could. The UES Defiance moved through restricted spatial corridors with calculated precision. Every movement was a carefully planned demonstration of technological superiority that left alien civilizations stunned. First Officer Wu Xiak analyzed the tactical displays, watching how alien fleet formations began shifting nervously around their vessel. The ship's quantum navigation systems effortlessly slipped through spatial zones that were considered impenetrable by other civilizations. Zorn military strategists watched in disbelief. Their most secure communication networks were being passively scanned by the human vessel without any active aggressive measures. The ship's sensors seemed to penetrate defensive systems that had been considered unbreachable for centuries. "They're tracking our every move," Lieutenant J. Kim reported, his fingers dancing across holographic interfaces. Each movement of the UES Defiance revealed another layer of technological complexity that left alien observers speechless. Captain Hyun Park understood the psychological warfare they were conducting. This wasn't about destruction. It was about demonstration. Every kilometer they traveled challenged established galactic power dynamics. Small alien reconnaissance squadrons attempted to maintain a perimeter around the human vessel. But their most advanced tracking systems seemed almost primitive compared to the Defiance's adaptive sensor networks. The human ship could predict their movements before they even made them. Strategic communication channels across multiple star systems began lighting up. Emergency meetings were being conducted at unprecedented speeds. The arrival of a single human vessel was causing more disruption than entire military campaigns. The ship's adaptive camouflage systems could modify its energy signature instantaneously. One moment it appeared as a standard exploration vessel. The next it suggested capabilities that seemed impossible. This constant uncertainty was deliberate, a psychological tool more powerful than any weapon. Wu Xiak noticed how alien fleet formations were becoming increasingly erratic. Their once precise military movements now looked like confused dance patterns. The humans were rewriting the rules of spatial engagement without firing a single weapon. Quantum communication networks buzzed with fragmented reports. Each transmission revealed growing panic among different alien civilizations. The humans had not just entered their space. They had fundamentally challenged their understanding of technological limitations. "Spatial corridor approaching critical zone," Jay announced. These were areas traditionally considered off-limits to any non-Zorn vessels. The UES Defiance was about to make a statement. With surgical precision, the ship navigated through a network of spatial restrictions that had maintained galactic power balance for generations. Defensive systems designed to stop any unauthorized vessel simply failed to engage. Captain Park watched the holographic displays, a subtle smile revealing her understanding of the moment's significance. This wasn't just a military demonstration, it was a diplomatic revolution. Alien military commanders realized something profound. Humanity had developed technologies that made their most advanced defense systems look like ancient relics. The major psychological impact was devastating. The ship's movement defied conventional physics. Energy redirection systems transformed potential threat zones into passive navigation routes. It was less about confrontation and more about demonstrating absolute technological control. Wu Xiak continued analyzing tactical data. "They're completely recalibrating their defensive protocols based on our presence," he reported. "The humans were forcing entire civilizations to reimagine their technological understanding." Communication protocols became increasingly desperate. Alien diplomatic channels tried understanding the human vessel's intentions, but each scan, each attempt to categorize the ship revealed more questions than answers. The UES Defiance represented more than a technological achievement. It was a message. Humanity had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same. As it continued its trajectory, the ship left behind a trail of confused alien civilizations, each trying to comprehend the fundamental shift happening before their sensors. One vessel had changed everything. The strategic positioning was complete. The message was sent. Humanity had spoken, not through weapons, but through pure, undeniable technological superiority. The psychological impact of the human vessel spread across multiple star systems like a silent wave of uncertainty. Alien civilizations that had dominated galactic politics for centuries suddenly found themselves questioning everything they knew. Into the grand chambers of the Zorn High Council, holographic displays showed the UES Defiance's movements. Senior representatives watched in stunned silence. Their most sophisticated tracking systems seemed like children's toys compared to the human technology. Captain Hyun Park understood the power of perception. Every moment the ship existed in alien space was a calculated demonstration of technological superiority. No weapons fired, no aggressive actions taken. Just pure, undeniable capability. Communication networks began transmitting fragments of data that seemed impossible. The human vessel had passed through defensive zones that were supposedly impenetrable. It moved with a grace that suggested technologies beyond current understanding. Lieutenant J. Kim monitored the external communication channels. Alien civilizations were rewriting their strategic documents in real time. Military academies were suddenly updating centuries-old tactical training based on a single ship's demonstration. Smaller alien civilizations began sending diplomatic inquiries. Their messages carried a mix of fear, respect, and desperate curiosity. The humans had changed the galactic power dynamic without firing a single weapon. Strategic councils across different star systems held emergency meetings. Military commanders, who had spent generations building defensive networks, now looked like children with outdated toys. The psychological breakdown was complete. The UES Defiance continued its trajectory, each moment adding to the growing legend. Whispers began spreading through alien communication networks, stories of a vessel that could do the impossible. First Officer Woo Seok tracked the psychological responses. Alien fleet movements became erratic. Some tried to maintain a show of strength, while others began strategic retreats. Fear had replaced their previous confidence. Quantum communication networks buzzed with increasingly desperate transmissions. Diplomatic channels that had been stable for generations now trembled with uncertainty. The humans had introduced a variable that no one could predict. Scientific research stations began analyzing every piece of data about the human vessel. Their scans revealed technologies that seemed to break fundamental laws of physics. Each discovery added another layer to the growing psychological pressure. Captain Park knew they were writing history. This wasn't just a military mission. It was a complete restructuring of galactic understanding. One ship was doing what entire military campaigns could never achieve. Alien trade routes began shifting. Economic systems that had been stable for centuries started recalculating their strategies. The mere presence of the human vessel was causing economic tremors across multiple star systems. Military training simulations suddenly became obsolete. Academies that had trained generations of soldiers found their tactical approaches completely irrelevant. The humans had rewritten the rules of engagement without a single conflict. Lieutenant J. Kim noticed how communication patterns changed. Initial panic was transforming into a strange mixture of fear and respect. The aliens were beginning to understand that humanity represented something entirely new. The psychological impact went beyond military and diplomatic circles. Civilian populations across different star systems began hearing fragments of stories about the mysterious human vessel. Legends were being born in real time. Woo Seok tracked the spread of information. Each transmission carried a growing sense of inevitability. The aliens were realizing that their previous understanding of technological limitations was completely wrong. The UES Defiance moved with a calm that was more terrifying than any weapon. Its very existence was a statement. Humanity had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same. Communication networks continued spreading fragments of the story. A single vessel had done what entire military campaigns could never achieve. The psychological transformation was complete. No weapons fired, no direct threats made, just pure, undeniable technological superiority that rewrote everything aliens thought they knew about space, technology, and power. The ship continued its journey, a silent messenger of a new galactic reality. The psychological impact would be remembered for generations. The quantum communication channels erupted with tension as the UES Defiance prepared to deliver its message. Captain Hyun Park stood calm, her hands clasped behind her back, watching the holographic displays of alien communication networks. Lieutenant J. Kim prepared the transmission protocols. This wasn't going to be a typical diplomatic communication. This was a carefully crafted message that would reshape galactic understanding. The Zorn High Council trembled in their central chamber. Holographic displays showed the human vessel positioned at the critical intersection of multiple strategic spatial corridors. Its very position was a statement of power. "Prepare communication sequence," Captain Park instructed, her voice steady and measured. The transmission began, simple, direct, powerful. To the Galactic Confederation and associated civilizations, humanity extends a hand of peaceful cooperation. We demonstrate our technological capabilities not as a threat, but as an invitation. Our advancement represents an opportunity for collective progress. Each word was carefully chosen. Each sentence carried multiple layers of meaning. The aliens would spend years analyzing this single communication. First Officer Woo Seok monitored the external responses. Alien communication networks began lighting up with confused, desperate transmissions. Some showed fear. Others showed a strange mixture of respect and uncertainty. The message continued. "We do not seek conflict. We seek understanding. Our technological capabilities suggest we could neutralize existing power structures instantaneously. Instead, we choose dialogue." Diplomatic channels across multiple star systems began emergency sessions. Military commanders who had spent generations building defensive networks now looked like children confronting an unexpected challenge. The UES Defiance remained positioned perfectly. Its mere presence was more powerful than any weapon. No aggressive moves, no threats, just pure calculated demonstration of capability. Alien civilizations began receiving additional data packets, technical specifications that hinted at technologies beyond their current understanding. Each piece of information was a carefully constructed puzzle piece. "We propose a new framework of galactic cooperation," the transmission continued. "Our technology can solve challenges that have limited your civilizations for generations: energy production, space exploration, medical advancements." Lieutenant J. Kim watched the communication algorithms. The transmission was designed to create maximum psychological impact with minimum direct confrontation. Scientific research stations across different star systems began analyzing the communication. Each word, each technical specification carried layers of meaning that would take years to fully comprehend. Captain Park understood the true power of diplomacy. This wasn't about forcing submission. This was about presenting an irresistible alternative to existing power structures. The transmission included subtle technical demonstrations, glimpses of medical technologies that could cure generations of diseases, energy production methods that could transform entire planetary economies, transportation technologies that could connect distant star systems. Alien diplomatic representatives found themselves in an impossible position. The humans were offering something more powerful than military conquest. They were offering genuine progress. "We do not demand. We propose," the final part of the transmission read. "Our capabilities are evident. Our intentions are clear. Cooperation or isolation are your choices." Woo Seok tracked the psychological responses. Alien communication networks showed a complex mixture of emotions: fear, respect, curiosity, and a growing sense of inevitable change. The UES Defiance remained perfectly positioned. No movement, no aggression, just pure, calculated presence. Diplomatic channels across multiple star systems began emergency consultations. Military commanders reviewed technical specifications that challenged everything they understood about technology. Captain Park watched the holographic displays. Each moment added another layer to the growing legend of humanity's arrival on the galactic stage. The transmission ended, but its impact would continue for generations. No weapons fired, no direct threats made, just a simple, powerful message that would reshape galactic civilization forever. The diplomatic ultimatum was complete. Humanity had arrived.